My faults were letters carved in stone, as meaningful to you as words written in water. I'm left to walk this world alone. In a broken mold they made me the black sheep of the family, worth less than zero. My opinion.
In the Japanese Headmaster's cartoon, they're practically comic relief. Him and Cyclonus are like Laurel and Hardy. They might as well go on. Yeah, that's all they pretty much do. They have a few wise cracks, they fall over, trip over themselves, and generally make arses of themselves, which is a damn shame. It was a ruination of a character. But as we know, the Japanese don't necessarily take the Transformer movie as fact. They try to just brush it aside. As I've said before, they have explanations for characters appearing and being alive and not being alive. Well, there we go. Now, Scourge has had many incarnations. It doesn't have an action mask, doesn't have a pretender, because they're a bit, won't get into that stuff so much. He had, what they've done later on, Hasbro, they've released a lot of black convoys, and they've given them the name Scourge. Now, there's Red Scourge, which is fine, I've got it, but I'm not getting it down, it's tough. And there's Beast Wars Scourge, who bears no relevance to this Scourge, other than the namesake. And there's new, what is the Transformers show now called? Cybertron. And I've got that, there's the Scourge, and there's Nemesis Scourge, there's two of them. And yeah, they don't really bear any relevance to this character at all, they just carry the name. The only one of note which I'll say really does carry the character, but has no individual character, it's just a mould, is the titanium one, and this is what we got here. It's not a bad little figure. As I said, the titaniums aren't a great toy line. And they've stopped doing them now, so don't got to worry about it, have we? And that's the titanium one. Transforms very similar, actually. Practically an identical transformation. Anyway, back to the Generation 1, who are very wobbly. They're prone to losing these, as you probably know. You'll find tons of these flat-headed Scourges on eBay. Don't bother with them. They just display horribly. And there's some of them have a detachable bit at the back here. This was 2 pieces and some of it's 1. I don't know why. The only other variation to Scourge, if you're interested at all, is some of them had metal and some of them had painted on stickers. That's all. Now, some of them have got metal feet. And one of them had metal feet. I've got a lot of them. Is it this one? No, I'm afraid not. I can't remember. But I know there's a variation between the 2 moulds. They were going to be all stickered marked on them, but they didn't in the end. As you can probably notice, I've applied some labels to distinguish him from the sweeps. So this is Scourge and the others are all sweeps. I've got a lot of sweeps, just like collecting them. Every time I see one, if it's got the headpiece, I will build on it, I will buy it. It's just quite nice to have it as an army of sweeps and Scourge leading them. Well, now I mentioned something earlier on about discrepancies in lines in the film, didn't I? I'm going to give you a few clips of that. And when I finish, this should explain it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll explain it first, and then I'll show you the clips, and then you'll see exactly what I'm on about. In the film, as Scourge is flying by... No, actually it's not. Galvatron is flying inside Cyclonus, and he says to Galvatron, do you want me to gut Ultra Magnus? And just as that point, when the line's finished, you see Scourge come alongside and the head pops up. Well, it wasn't meant to be him. If you look, I've seen the original script, and that was Cyclonus' script. It was Cyclonus talking to Galvatron, asking if he wanted to gut Ultra Magnus. And it just happened to be that wasn't even Scourge. It's just a sweep who's coming up. He just happens to pop his head up to have a quick look round. It was just bad camera work. What it was is when the Japanese animated the film, when they've had to put on the lines after, they haven't necessarily tallied up 100% as well. So it's just unlucky that for that second, a sweep comes up and pops his head up. So it looks like he's just finished the sentence. It's not. It's Cyclonus talking to Galvatron. And the other one is where the explosion of, they explode 2/3 of the Autobot ship. And it looks like Scourge has turned round and gone, the Autobots have been terminated. Well, he hasn't said anything. All he's done, if you look really carefully, is he's just gone round and he's agreed and nodded to Galvatron, and Galvatron's nodded to him. If you remember earlier on, Cyclonus has been sent out to stop them. Cyclonus reports back to Galvatron that they've been terminated, because he's out there Scourge is, and he's next to Galvatron, so he's not going to know any more than Galvatron, is he? So that's Scourge that says that as well. The only line that Cyclonus says is, but we, what is it? Now, it's the line there when Galvatron's having one of his mental trips again, isn't he? And falling over and everything's gone flashy red lights and it's all going nice and shiny. And he goes, we belong to him. And that's it, because Galvatron goes, I belong to nobody. And he goes, yeah, and you belong to him. And that. So that's the line that Scourge has in the film, and it's in the script. And if you listen really carefully, there's a slight change in the voice, if you notice, from the lines that Cyclonus is supposed actually saying to the ones that Scourge is saying. So we got there in the end, didn't we? Now I'll show you the clips and you'll see exactly what I'm on about, and then I'll be back in a sec. And they're going, ah, crap, thought we got rid of him. Sorry, I'm going to end the review, okay?
Crap. You want me to gut Ultra Magnus? There are plenty of Autobots for you. The Autobots have been terminated. Excellent. And the Matrix with them. Ron and all its moons belong to me. Remember, we belong to him.
Okay, so that's me back, so now you've seen it. So it makes some sense on what I'm saying, and hopefully that was a little bit run down the character of Scourge, who, for all his faults, is a relatively loyal Decepticon fighter, other than the fact that if he gets a chance to get on one over the others, he will. And to be honest with you, since he's got 6 others who look like him, I can understand his predicament. There we go, so that's me, that's Starscream, signing off, and... oh, I better know who's doing that. Right. Is it you doing that, Starscream?
What? I can do whatever I want, so screw you, asshole.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.